Now, policies do matter, and Texas is a good place to study that. Texas was responsible for 70% of net new jobs in 2008. In the entire country, 70% of the net new jobs were in the state of Texas. Their unemployment rate is about 2 percentage points below the national average. One reason is their legislature only meets every other year. So this is very important. The rise of professional legislators has led to the rise of powerful interest groups who basically sustain those legislators, and the result is you get much too much government, much too much bureaucracy, and much too much special interest. When you elect people from the general population to serve in the legislature or to serve on the city council, they make much broader decisions than when they become full-time professional politicians who are indebted to interest groups for their survival. And Texas has been very fortunate. In 2009, Texas was one of only 6 states that did not run a budget deficit. Since 1988, they've maintained a rainy day fund paid for by taxes and oil and gas companies. They currently have $6.7 billion in their rainy day fund. It can only be used if 2/3 of both houses of the legislature approve, and Governor Perry has vowed not to touch it. So it'll just keep growing. Now compare that attitude of fiscal prudence and protecting the citizens of the state from debt with what you get in most state capitals. I mean, it's really a remarkable case study that it can be done, but it requires a very disciplined, very different approach. The Texas legislature has refused to implement an income tax or a capital gains tax, and capital gains taxes are particularly dangerous for states because in good years they give you too much revenue, which the states promptly spend, giving them too big a government. So in bad years, when the capital gains tax collapses, they have no ability to retrench and to cut back on government. And California is the classic case study because Silicon Valley generated so much capital gain during the boom years for information technology that they dramatically expanded government in Sacramento, and it's now unsustainable. And yet they don't have the political will to figure out how to shrink the government. So there's a pretty powerful argument against capital gains tax just as a matter of fiscal policy. There's another difference. Texas actually likes business. Texas likes jobs. Texas has a bureaucracy whose job is to make things work better. They created the Texas Enterprise Fund, and they created the Texas Emerging Technology Fund. They provide incentives and subsidies for new and transplanted businesses. They literally cheerfully go to California and say to people, when you're tired of paying too much and having too much red tape and being harassed by the state bureaucracy, call us. We'll be glad to create a place for you to earn a living in Texas with less hassle and lower taxes. And it has had a huge impact on Californians moving to Texas. Texas is now home to 64 Fortune 500 companies, the most of any state in the country. The legislature also allows Texas city governments wide leeway in designing incentives to lure new businesses. They include free land, cheap electricity, subsidies toward the wages of higher paid workers, funds for training, and long tax holidays. So the result is a continuing pattern of consciously favoring the next cycle of businesses, leading to the next cycle of jobs, leading to the next cycle of people who are paying taxes because they're working, leading to an ability to then get the next cycle of business. And this has been going on now for 20 years. And fascinatingly, in the academic world, very few people want to study it. They're not big on studying success. They're big on studying failure and then explaining how we could have more of it.